Zebras, how are you guys doing? Right now the moon is at 75.7% illumination in the sign of Capricorn, headed towards that half moon in Aquarius on the 30th. So let's see how you are being affected by this energy and what you can expect moving forward. Let's see what's in store for you. Grace short, timid, misunderstood, and shy. This could be how you're being perceived. Then we have the golden ratio, beauty, nature, and patterns. The golden ratio is the Fibonacci sequence, right? So basically the first two digits add up to the third digit and it goes on the sequence, right? It's like 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 5, 3, 5, 8, you know, onward and upward forever. And so, yeah, and it's this exponential growth. And if you were to graph the Fibonacci sequence, it would be like a spiral, right? And you see that spiral in this card here. And so when I think of that, I kind of think of how everything is like a fractal of everything else in the universe, you know, as above, so below, you know, kind of stuff. So I feel that you're connecting to these patterns, you're recognizing, you know, certain patterns or behaviors or things. This is where the discernment comes out, right? Because there's a lot of recognition in self in the golden ratio, you know. So I've never met a shy Libra. So you could be perceived as timid, misunderstood, or shy, or somebody could be in that energy in your life. We could have a cross watcher. However, this is kind of like, yeah, very, very interesting for a Libra. Because I know Libras. They're all wild. I love it. Alright. And also, though, if you're using your discernment, you can come off as timid, misunderstood, or shy because you're reading the room, or you're like, you're analyzing things, right? And that's, I guess, when you'd either come off as aloof or mysterious, right? Like a typical air sign would, right? Because, you know, it's hard to find that fine line between the two. It's either aloof or mysterious, or both, aloof and mysterious. And I'm speaking as a fellow air sign, so I feel you. Alright. With the Four of Swords, I see that right now you're in a position of taking action. Right? Like, I feel that you're working towards something, or you're getting organized about something. With the Nine of Cups in reverse, you know, Nine of Cups is all about wish fulfillment, you know? And so with that in reverse, it's kind of like you're taking action toward a life that you want, rather than just accepting that, you know, you're not that things haven't been the way that you wanted them to be, right? I feel like I hope that made sense. But you know, because it's like things not going the way that we want with the Nine of Cups in reverse. And with that Four of Swords, you know, which is a card of rest and relaxation, recuperation, with that in reverse, it's kind of like saying that you could be feeling overworked or a little burnt out or a little overwhelmed, you know, and like you're doing a lot because things haven't been the way that you want. And I once heard a quote that said, "It's okay to hate your life. It's not okay to hate yourself." Right? And it's like when you're dissatisfied with life, that's when you make the most change, right? That's when you progress the most. It's when evolution happens. So apply pressure where, you know, where needed, where it's needed. We have the Nine of Swords in reverse. Nine of Swords is a card of restlessness, overthinking, sleepless nights, you know, those kinds of things. And with the Nine of Swords in reverse, I feel that like you're really learning to master your thoughts, to really conquer what you dwell on and what you don't, you know. This is a very powerful place to be, where you pick and choose your thoughts intentionally, right? Like you know what you want to focus your energy on, and you don't allow yourself to go down that slippery slope, you know. We have the Ten of Swords sideways, and so I feel that you're in the middle of completing a cycle here. Like it's right between that death and rebirth energy, and I feel that you're just kind of over the way that things have been, right? Like you're feeling stagnant, feeling overworked, feeling burnt out, out of sorts, right? And it's just like, and it's a justified dissatisfaction, right? It's like, it's not that you're not grateful for what you have, it's just you didn't think it would be this job or this life, or you know, something. It just feels like you have to work twice as hard for half as much, you know. We have Three of Wands in reverse, which represents to me that you're not just going to sit around and wait for the ships to come in. You're not just going to sit around and wait for the perfect situation with the perfect circumstances, because you're not delusional, right? Because you're realistic enough to understand that you have to take some kind of action towards the life that you want. It's like Dr. Joe Dispenza says, if you want everything to change, you've got to change everything, you know? And it's powerful. You got to change the way that you vibrate, the way that you think, the way that you speak to yourself, you know, the way that you do everything when you really want that life-altering change, when you really want things to go way different, you know? Because obviously the way that you've been going about things is only led up to this outcome that you're currently dissatisfied in, right? We have the Temperance card, Sagittarius energy, and this represents patience, you know, trusting divine time and keeping your cool as well, you know. But more than that, I'd like to look at the imagery of the card, right? Seeing the mountains in the background represents things that you've had to overcome, right? You've had tests of patience and you've had to overcome that. And water in tarot represents emotions, and the way that this person is like dipping their toes in there, it's like allowing themselves to kind of get comfortable in their feelings, to get comfortable having feelings, whatever that means, you know. Like to understand we're not going to feel 100% all the time. We're going to have days where we're harder on ourselves, or we're going to, but I feel that there's so much more to come. We have the Hanged Man. This represents obstacles, the things that hold you up on your path, the things that kind of prohibit your making progress on your path. And we have the Five of Swords. This could represent like a defensiveness, or feeling like you can't trust the people you're around, right? Because this guy's like disarming them while their backs are turned, right? The flamingos in this represent swords, sorry. So in a traditional Rider-Waite deck, he'd be picking up swords, right? In this case, it's flamingos. But while the other dude's backs are turned, right? And it's kind of like disarming them. And so what I'm feeling for you here is that this lack of trust can be an obstacle for you, or this feeling like you don't have anyone on your team that you trust, or feeling like there's drama or nonsense that you're just not trying to get involved in, but there's this energy of like other people kind of creating an obstacle for you on your path. Alright, what else do you need to know? Yeah, we have Eight of Wands in reverse, right? Eight of Wands talks about things moving quickly, right? So Eight of Wands in reverse is things moving slowly, right? Or feeling like it's a long time coming. And it makes me think of that song by Sam Cooke, A Change Is Gonna Come. And he's singing, it's been a long time coming. Oh wait, how does it go? I know a change gonna come. Oh yes it will. It's been too hard living, but I'm afraid to die. Yeah, so I'm feeling like it's been a long time coming, but a change is gonna come, like my boy Sam Cooke said. I see with the Ten of Wands in reverse here that you eventually reach a point where you're no longer willing to tolerate these kinds of obstacles, right? The things holding you up. You're going to release a lot of emotional baggage, right? The Ten of Wands is like that burden, that baggage, and you're going to release that which hinders your path, right? Because in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, this guy is on his way to a castle, right? And he's got like 10 big ass wands on his back, and he's like weighed down and burdened, right? And so with that in reverse, I feel this releasing of such, right? Releasing the baggage, releasing the burden, releasing that which hinders your progress on your path. We have the Four of Pentacles in reverse. And this is kind of like telling you to be mindful of your spending, to consider investments, to consider, taking your finances and to a whole other level, right? By being disciplined in handling your finances. So I feel like that's part of it. Which I do know a lot of Libras who are shoppers, right? Y'all love shopping. Um, and maybe watch some videos on like money management and budgeting and those kinds of things, because there's an area here that's saying that that does need some attention, like, yeah, but anyway. So, we have the Lovers in reverse with the Two of Cups in reverse. This could represent a breakup, right? That could also explain any financial loss that you're experiencing as well. And with the Chariot in reverse Cancer energy, this kind of feels like a struggle to move on, right? Like the Chariot's all about movement, moving on, moving out, moving forward. But it does look like there's an ending to some kind of relationship here, right? The Lovers is Gemini energy. And you have the Major and Minor Arcana cards for love in the reverse. So that tells me that there's a separation here. With the Four of Wands, this could be somebody that you're married to, or somebody that you just have a deep soul contract with, right? And somebody who is very important on this path. But there could also, with the flippity flop of the Chariot, because as I'm looking at it, the Chariot is about going away, right? And like in reverse, it could also represent somebody trying to come back in, right? Somebody trying to come back in and resolve something. See, and I'm seeing that with the Four of Wands in the upright, like kind of trying to stay good on that contract or that agreement, that relationship, whatever. It's like wanting to work on that. With the King of Swords in reverse, this is like somebody laying down their defenses, kind of being vulnerable, right? Because the King of Swords in the upright is never vulnerable. He's got a sword up, he's cold, callous, gonna cut everyone off, very sharp. With that in reverse, this is kind of like allowing the guard down, right? This is allowing a softening to happen and a vulnerability. So somebody may be feeling remorseful or becoming very vulnerable with you in order to come back in. With the Two of Swords, you're like, hell no, right? That this represents, like, if in the traditional Rider-Waite deck, it's a girl sitting there blindfolded and she's got two swords crossed over her heart. Here we have Absalom with two flamingos, right? But flamingos are swords in this deck. And so it's like there's this energy of protecting your heart and not being open to that and just kind of being like, nope, fuck that. We're done, right? So definitely there's this energy that somebody might be trying to come back in some way, and you're just like, no, but I don't want that. Which is fine, it is what it is. But just a warning, that might happen. So yeah, we have Six of Pentacles in reverse. This is very independent energy, right? Like, Because Six of Pentacles in the upright is all about like reciprocal energy of two, right? And so Six of Pentacles in reverse is like doing something on your own, not having somebody to reciprocate with emotionally or financially or, you know, on any level that way. We have the Three of Cups. This card represents socializing. It could also represent indulgence, right? Like they're typically like out drinking and celebrating. So that could also be where there could be some financial, you know, stuff that could be worked on. Speaking from experience though, right? Like we've all had that where we go on, you know, bingers after a breakup or whatever, you know, shit happens. With the Strength card in reverse, this is kind of a weakness, you know, this is kind of, and that's Leo energy, by the way. But, you know, this is kind of a weakness. This is like, probably not the best way to work through feelings, you know, if by like distracting yourself with indulgence and, you know, socializing or dating or whatever. I feel that there's like a need to kind of confront the feelings, you know, a need to kind of like work through some stuff and not just like push that aside. With the Eight of Pentacles, I see that you work very hard, right? And there's a big feeling of like, I earn a little relaxation and a little fun after that, and yes, you absolutely do. Just not to your own detriment, right? There's moderation, you know, like being, you know, like for example, I will pick like 1 or 2 specific days a month where I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go hang out or whatever. And I only started doing that this year because it can be a lot, right? A lot of people want to hang out, a lot of people want your free time, and so yeah, it's kind of like make sure that you're, you know, doing the work on yourself and, you know, not falling into temptation, if you will. You know. Alright, let's see what the Kali cards have to say. Tromonogmo. The spiritual cleansing and protective means necessary to overcome any obstacle shall be granted to you. You can trust in what is happening in your life, especially the things that are breaking apart or rising anew. Any pain that you might be experiencing now is so much less than the pain that would have taken root if certain circumstances were allowed to continue. Bhubaneswari. She is the rising sun, marking the ending of darkness and the replenishment of life force after illness or devastation. She creates a clean slate and a fresh start. She protects and preserves that which is worthy of the heart. She shines in a perpetual state of divine beauty and radiance, attracting to us the most supportive and honoring circumstances. Mantra Shakti. Do not allow negative thoughts or speech to undermine your inner spiritual connection. Claim your voice and your power to express yourself from your heart. Though it may not yet be visible in your physical world, a new order is generating within the soul, and in time shall manifest in a transformation that heals your inner world and improves your physical life circumstances too. And that is what I have for you. I hope that this was helpful. Namaste. I love you all, and I will talk to you later.